Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Energy Update with me, Rebecca Meisel. I am so excited to tune in and to share what is channeled for this week. We have a really exciting week this week. We've definitely been going through the deep and the heavy stuff and the heavy clearing the past few weeks. But this week we're bringing a beautiful new energy in, which is all about blessed change, which is all about abundance and bringing our goals and dreams to fruition. And it's really, really amazing what a lot of us have been working on behind the scenes. And it's so important to take this week to celebrate and to acknowledge the hard work that we've done and the steps that we've taken along the journey. So this week, take some time out to really just think and to allow yourself to ruminate on what has come to pass for you the past few weeks through this eclipse season and what that is now ushering in. So I'm really hearing this week as we make this new headway in our dreams, as we start really cultivating our new authentic life. It is so important to take time out to see what took us here. What forged you? What allowed you to become this person that you are? And giving gratitude for those challenges. And they're just showing me this big picture opens up, this brand new perspective comes to light for us when we start truly seeing, wow, everything along my journey really did get me here. And it's this amazing gratitude that then lands for even those hard challenges. So really cool perspective shift that we're making this week. So let's dive into these main messages. So the first thing I heard while I was even just getting my journal to channel was that song, "Come and Get Your Love." And I was like, oh my God, this is such a fun song. I love that song. But it was like so much about this theme of love this week. It's time to claim it. It's time to take it. So that's exactly what came through, was this heightened passion and excitement for life. They're kind of making me think new love. So you know when you first meet the love of your life or you first get into a new relationship, it's like sunshine and rainbows and enthusiasm, and it's just this total rejuvenation of yourself in your life. And it's like you don't sweat the small stuff anymore because life has just become so beautiful. So that's exactly what I'm seeing at the beginning of the week. We are entering in this brand new energy of just love, this new dawn, this new excitement and passion for life. So what channeled here was Come and Get Your Love, configuration of dreams, reawakened desire, sunlight, and love, dream realizations, medical miracles, and having the courage to fly, releasing reasons to hate yourself, reorganizing your thoughts so that they honor you, self-realizations. Maybe you're not as bad as you thought you were. Clearing the inner critic so you can finally shine. And it was really beautiful because they were kind of showing me this like Easter egg. And I know we just came through Easter. And it was almost like this hidden treasure. You know, maybe we've been on this egg hunt. We've been searching for that chocolate. We've been searching for the good stuff. And now it's like, oh my gosh, okay, here it is. And it's this amazing alignment that happens, this amazing wake up to the abundance that you found and unearthed. And maybe it was there the whole time, you just didn't see. So very exciting. So treasure comes to light and you have been the jewel all along. Okay, so let's take a pause here. This is really, really cool. So this week, we're going to have a huge highlight on our dreams, our careers. There's a lot of forward movement that is happening. And it's so funny because they're showing me someone who's been kind of going through the mud, like literally the drudgery, where it's like, every step I just get stuck and I can't get rid of this mud. Like they're literally showing me this caked on mud on your boots and you're just really struggling to shake that off and to take a new step. And it's funny because once more, they're kind of showing me how we've gotten used to life being arduous and we've accepted that in our lives. And I believe it was a couple weeks ago that reading was so much about not accepting less than you deserve and this wake-up call. So a lot of us might have received this wake-up call. Maybe it wasn't the greatest experience. Maybe it was hard, but they're really showing me how a lot of us have gotten this heads up to, wow, okay, this is not how I want to live my life anymore. I need to say no to this so I can start saying yes to myself. And this is finally allowing us to take a step out of the mud. So they're showing me someone taking a step off of that path that's just caked with mud, and you're going onto a new path where there's nothing encumbering your steps. And it's amazing because they're showing me how this pathway that was clear and beautiful and paved and ready for you to walk was right beside you this whole time. You just weren't looking there. And this is what happens through our programming, through repetitive negative thoughts, through hurtful experiences. We get so focused on the drudgery of life that we fail to shift our perspective and look around and see what other realities could actually be possible for us. So this is what they're showing me this week, is this illumination to the new path that's there and how we're ready to get out of this mud and start walking this unencumbered path. And once we get on this path, it's like a whole new life begins. A whole new journey has started. And that's exactly where we're at. It's like, wow, what could my life now be now that I've released this mud? What I've released, what's been holding me back, that's been keeping me stuck. So a lot of you have released relationships. A lot of you have released deep hurt, deep trauma. They're showing me the huge burden of these repetitive cycles and repeat patterns that a lot of us actually were healing for our ancestors due to our ancestral line, karmic connections. Some of this stuff was so heavy, right? And it was making us sink. It was making us sink into that mud. But these things have now come up for us to say that final goodbye to. And it's really beautiful. So this is when it talks about these self-realizations, these dream realizations. This is what's happening. We're waking up to the purpose of why we had this drudgery, and now it's time to step into the new. So we're saying that goodbye this week. We're saying that see you later. I ain't coming back here. I'm taking a brand new path, and I'm not going to repeat this cycle ever again. And it's really amazing, this decision that we're making. So having the courage to fly. And this was quite cool because they also mentioned medical miracles. So for some of us, we're going to realize how all the stress and all of the drudgery that we were dealing with was actually weighing on our health. So we're also waking up to, as we take a new path, as we release these burdens and we put in the proper boundaries for our lives and really focus on what actually lights us up, our health dramatically improves. And it's like this download. They're just showing me this energy just dropping into our energy fields this week, where the awareness hits and it finally lands. So they're showing me someone who logically knows, like, I know that my health and mental health and emotional health really matter and that they impact my body, but it's like landing this week because all of a sudden your health is like, woo! We're getting this huge, amazing increase in our health, in our mental health, in our physical health. And they're just showing me we're also shaking off the drudgery of that. So they're also giving me this example of where we might have been very much, this person was just like, I just don't have the energy to work out. I just don't have the energy to do anything. I just don't have the energy to be eating well or to be meal prepping or to be making healthy meals myself. But this is shifting because with this newfound hope, this newfound realization of, wow, I can live my authentic life. Wow, I can realize these dreams, and I'm finally seeing these fruits of my labor, and we're seeing the potential of that. it's like this vitality returns. So really be mindful of that body, soul, and mind connection this week, and see how much your lifestyle and the way you've been living life formerly, how that impacted it, So they're really bringing this wake-up call in our health and in our wellness, and how that is going to be taking center stage this week as well. So from there, we have releasing reasons to hate yourself. And I love this so much because once again, we're waking up to this higher understanding. Wow, when I say yes to things that are draining me, that are realizing my past actions, that are repeating the cycle, I truly am hating myself. And that is what it is, point blank. You're either choosing love or hate. You're choosing love or fear, my friends. So every single decision you make this week, have that little check in with yourself. If I say yes to this, is this decision going to spearhead my newfound self-worth and self-respect? Is this choice going to honor me? Or is it going to dishonor me? Is it going to disrespect me? Is this actually reinforcing hatred of myself and of my body? So they're showing me this example of someone who does not know how to quit. And quitting is sometimes winning, my friends, okay? Because when we don't have boundaries, that's a sure and quick way to put yourself in the ground. And they're showing me this once more wake-up call to someone realizing how much they take on a daily basis, and how every time they say yes and pile more and more of other people's problems, of old junk, of things they don't need, the more and more they're actually hating on themselves. So we're getting this rearranging happening of creating a schedule and creating life very much in a way that honors yourself and your sacredness. So this week they're showing me our hands on the womb. So with that, we need to reconnect with our sacred space, our birthplace, right? That's what the womb represents, is this amazing, beautiful energy, the sacral chakra, where our dreams are born, where our dreams are manifested, where we literally create life. So check in with your womb this week. Check in with that creative space within yourself and go, hey, how's it feeling? What am I now ready to birth into my life? And if it's feeling very drained or depleted, and they're showing me like you're going to have awareness of this because maybe your creative passions have been zapped lately. Maybe you're just like, man, I know I want to do this, but I just don't have the motivation. A lot of that is when the energy has become so depleted in the sacral chakra and it needs that rejuvenation. So once more, this is this awareness of where have I been overgiving or prioritizing things over myself and my passions and my self-care. Because the womb is all about growth, yes, but it's also about nurturing and growing and the self-tenderness. So we need to be able to be giving that back to ourselves this week. So we're getting this balance of giving and receiving as well. That's really coming in. And that's once more going to rejuvenate. So take that time this week. Where do I need to be rejuvenated? Where do I need to be prioritizing self-care, self-love, and being very mindful of where we're placing our energy? Is this propelling self-hatred or self-love? Really amazing what we're going to be shifting. So organizing your thoughts so that they honor you. So this goes deep. This week, we're going to have a huge awareness of really looking at everything. The deep stuff, the thoughts you have on a daily basis. Like if you were to write out every single thought you had in an hour, in a day, how many of those thoughts would be propelling of you, encouraging of you, loving of you? How many thoughts assist you in your forward movement and in your growth and in your self-love journey? And how many are in conflict with that goal? So once more, to really bring this awareness to analyze that, look at that, plant seeds of growth, okay? Not despair, because they're just showing me the self-criticism and the go brain that doesn't stop, the I need to be safe, this very much propelling fear-based energies. We know where those lead. And they're not to where we want to be. So with this realization of goals, with this newfound rejuvenation of this is what I want, I'm so excited, I'm going to go for this goal, we need to rid ourselves of the things that are sabotaging it. So once more, reorganize your thoughts. So a beautiful practice that a friend actually came up with, and I think is so amazing, and I give her total credit for this, is writing out a list of your worries and your woes and giving yourself an hour just to write anything you are worrying about, anything you are fearing, anything that's bothering you, any mean thought that you have. Just write it all out and give yourself an hour to just put it all on paper. And then release it. So however it feels good, whether you want to burn it, whether you want to rip it up, whatever feels best for you in that moment. But then allowing yourself to have the whole rest of the day to just be in the experience. And this is so helpful because this accomplishes so much. It accomplishes a release because we're letting our thoughts come out. We're going, okay, I'm getting rid of this energy, and writing it out does that. It helps you release what's locked in the mind, what's locked in the body even. And the other thing that this accomplishes is this acknowledgement of how you actually are feeling and how you're actually thinking every single day. And doing this is very powerful. It is very transformational because it allows us to see that even the negative thoughts we have matter, and we're not going to judge them or cast them in shame, but it's this amazing honoring of, hey, I feel this way, I'm scared, and it helps us to connect with our inner child and go, oh, why? Right? And how can we release this today so we can be brave and we can move forward in what's actually helpful for us, what's actually healthy for us long term. And it's such a beautiful practice. And I actually did that this week, and it was absolutely incredible what some of these very little things, simple things, can do for you if you take the time to do it. So I'm just here to share that this week. Get those thoughts out on paper. Get those negative emotions out on paper. Acknowledge them. Feel them. Let yourself go into, why is this coming up for me? And then letting yourself release it and setting those strong intentions. Once it's released, I'm not going to go back and nitpick at it again. I'm going to let it go so I can focus on what it is I need to focus on for the next 24 hours. And it's really beautiful what this can shift and do for us with this repetition. So self-realizations, maybe you're not as bad as you thought you were. This is key. So this week we're waking up to removing self-shame and self-judgment, that real cruel inner critic. And we've had a few readings about this recently where that might be really surfacing, this low self-worth. Can I do it? Because we've had this huge shift of like, okay, light workers, we need you in place. Like, we need you to be ready to help. We need you to be in this position. But we also have needed you to learn how to take care of yourself. We've also needed you to learn how to get your finances in order, how to truly do the work that's necessary for you to thrive. So we've got these big wounds around money, about self-worth, about self-value. It's like, we need you to learn how to charge properly. We need you to be in the right job, the right industry, so you can be utilized. And not only that, not just to help, but to make you happy, to give you what you are needing to receive, to have your needs met. So notice that within yourself. Have you noticed recently where you've had illuminations and wake-up calls to where your needs aren't being met and where you need to be the champion of your life, where you need to be the one who is taking charge and giving these things to yourself? And that's what shifts everything, is this amazing I am my own savior really comes to mind here. So we're clearing the inner critic so you can finally shine. So they're just showing me this download that comes in, and it's interesting because once more, we can have all the knowledge in the world around healing, self-care, but if we don't let that information really land, if we don't connect that information to the heart center, to our inner child, to our emotions, it's not worth anything, because once again, we can say it till the cows come home, but if we don't feel it, if we don't connect to it, it's worthless. So this week, we're finally connecting to what it really means to love yourself, what it really means to do the work, and how that can be applied in your life. So huge eye opener this week, and they're showing me that the eyes opening. incredible, because it's finally landing. Oh, this is what life could be. If I just love myself, if I shut up that inner critic, like once more, this is finally landing. Okay, it's a big difference between knowing and then letting it land in you. So this is landing this week. It's so exciting. And we're being illuminated to hidden treasures. So the hidden treasure is you. You're starting to wake up and see you've been chasing and hunting and looking for abundance, for the goal, for the destination, when you have been it all along. And this is this huge download that's coming in as well this week, is waking up to our own divinity, our own power, and our own abundance within ourselves. So the word capability comes in, where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually really capable. And I really am powerful. And I actually can do this. I can live my dream. I can do this, right? And they're showing me this illumination too. We don't need everything we've been taught and told to make life a success, and to redefine what success means for you as an individual. So releasing insufficiency in all forms. This is what channeled next. In body, in appearance, in age, and in lack, and in career. You can and you will. Determination with your goals. Realizing all goes well when you stop fighting the current and your flow. Let yourself ebb and flow and focus on your thoughts. Letting go of resistance through love. Okay, this was very cool because they then showed me how there's been parts of ourselves, and I feel it's so predominantly in our feminine energy, resistance, okay? Resistance to our goals, resistance to the dreams. And they're just showing me it's just because they're afraid. They're afraid of success. They're afraid of being seen, whatever the story is. And this week we might have some illumination to that as well, where we are actually terrified of taking the steps we need to take. As much as we want it, it's like, oh, that's going to require me to be in the spotlight. That's going to require me to take this leap of faith, right? And to really believe in myself. So this is where we're releasing these belief systems, these old wounds around not being enough, around not being worthy or deserving of these things. And also, this fear of being seen illuminates the physical appearance. So we might actually get that as well this week, where it's like, where are you actually not confident in yourself and in your looks and in your physical body, in your appearance? Okay, so this goes like very deep here. So this week, be mindful of that. Where are you feeling insufficient in your life? And how can you put a focus on that this week to heal it? And how do we do that? It's through love. Love is what heals everything. And once more I hear, well, Rebecca, that's a real nice answer, but how do you do it? Right? That's been always my question. Love yourself, but how, right? We need the guidance and we need the awareness of how to actually do this. So they're kind of showing me that we need to start with the thoughts, okay? So going back and not trying to sound like a broken record here, but we have to be aware. What are we thinking? What are you actually saying to yourself? And that in itself would be the best place to start, because they're kind of showing me how these thoughts happen so frequently that we don't really stop and notice them. And they're just showing me how rare it is that we actually praise ourselves. So if anything this week, we have a huge focus on what are you thinking? So start there this week. What are your everyday thoughts? And how can you infuse your thoughts with love? And to remind you as well that you're not alone, okay? Because your guides are like, oh, we can help with that. So ask your guides to help you to think more lovingly, to put on the lenses of love, okay? So I'm really seeing this week, set intentions specifically to put on your rose-colored glasses, to see everything in this beautiful sheen of love, of passion, of beauty, and to focus on the parts that you do love about yourself. So they're showing me mirror work being highlighted this week. And if you're unsure of what that is, I actually have a post on my social media all about it. Might be a little bit far back, so you might have to do some scrolling, or you can just Google it. But that being said, mirror work is such a powerful tool. So look up these different ways that you can start practicing and infusing self-love on the daily, okay? Now, the other thing I've been getting a lot of recently is asking your guides to wrap whatever situation you're in love. So thank you, angels. Thank you, spirit team, for wrapping this situation in love. So you can absolutely specify what it is you're struggling with. So in this case, thank you, angels. Thank you, spirit team, for wrapping my body in unconditional love, for helping me see myself in a loving way and with eyes of compassion. Thank you for helping me see myself as you do, right? These are things that we can be saying to ourselves. They're also mentioning the importance of having a mantra. So whenever you have a negative thought, create an affirmation that you're going to say immediately when that pops in. And calling that thought out, going, oh, no. That's old me. That's a critic. That's a program I was given. That's not mine. And call it out for what it is, a lie. Okay, this is what they're saying. You got to call out the BS. Okay, no more believing that lie. Okay, you're not going to give your power or your self-worth away anymore. Okay, so call out that BS. It's time to start infusing your mind, your thoughts, your body with love, because that is absolutely what it deserves. So last but not least, what I'm hearing to help us do this week is start viewing yourself as that child version of you. How would you speak to your child? Okay? How would you say things to a child? That is how we need to be treating ourselves, with so much kindness, with so much love, with so much understanding and patience. You have to have patience. You're learning something you've never learned before, which is how to love yourself. You know, many of us have not learned how to do that. So give yourself the grace to do so. All right, so let's move forward from there. So realizing all goes well when you stop fighting the current and you honor the flow. I love this so much. So once again, once we start prioritizing ourselves, they're just showing me how everything just falls into place. And it's so funny because some of us might get this program, or we've had this program, that when you put yourself first, you're being selfish. Or if you put yourself first, you're not going to have time for your obligations that day. You know, they're just showing me someone who's been such in their masculine energy of doing and supporting and being that energy that it's very hard for them to even wrap their head around that life could go in peace. Life could happen peacefully and beautifully and in this amazing sequence where there's always time. And it's really funny because I actually had this conversation this past week, and I was marveling at how when I actually slowed down and took my time and did some spiritual practice and did my self-care first before anything else, how I still got everything done, and how the entire day I was so relaxed and I wasn't stressed, and how everything just flowed. And it was so interesting because to me it was like this glimpse that I was being shown of how to do things a new way and how they could be successful, and how I could prioritize myself above everything else and still get everything done in perfect time. So they're really wanting us to practice that this week, and that's myself included. I've got to practice that too. But it's like learning to let the feminine side of yourself take center stage. And this is what we've been really learning the past few years, is how to balance the masculine and feminine, know when we need either energy, and to tap in when appropriate. Not just run on overdrive on one side or the other. So beautiful harmonization coming in. So realizing these parts that are in resistance and filling them with love. So what came through here was this fear. So circling back there, this won't work out. That's what I heard immediately when I was channeling here. So once more, this week we're going to have a huge push to go for our dreams, huge inspiration, huge energy shifts to be like, yes, this is what I'm doing, and going for it. But we're going to have things that will pop up that are in resistance, and that's what we got to go into. But it's mainly fear. A lot of us are absolutely afraid. So this won't work out. What if I put in all this work and it happens that it just falls flat, right? There's going to be those fears that come up this week. So this programming needs to stop. So it said how? By being compassionate, okay? Being compassionate with yourself, finding new ways of being. So it was really interesting because then they showed me this energy of fighting. And once again, this can go two ways because we don't want to be in this energy of fight and flight all the time. But there is an appropriate time where we do need to be the champion for ourselves, the champion for our dreams, and just go roll over and take it. We've got to be able to fight for what we believe and who we are and what we deserve. So they're showing me that this energy is going to come in this week, and this is in fact healthy, okay? So as we put in these boundaries, as we put in this amazing new information and downloads into practice, we have to learn how to fight for our dreams, not from a space of anger or fear, but from a space of love for ourselves. So let me explain that a little bit better. So a lot of us have had former wounds around insufficiency, lack, not being enough. And those wounds, pain, can be a very powerful motivator for us to succeed and to never go through that again. But they're showing me now that we have been conquering those wounds, we've been healing them, and now we want to formalize our goals and spearhead our dreams, not from a space of I'm going to show you that I can do this and I am better and I am worthy, we're not proving anything. We're now shifting from this wounded space and acting from those wounds to I love myself so unconditionally, so much that I'm going to do this because it is what I deserve. So see the shift in the motivation, right? The other side there had real pain, which can also evolve from anger, right? Anger can really be a motivator, but I'm hearing we need to heal this. We need to honor the anger. We need to honor our pain, but we're not going to let that be the only motivation for our forward movement and growth now. We're now letting love spearhead the way, and it's really, really beautiful. So we're learning to work with these parts of ourselves that are afraid, that are hurt, that need to be acknowledged, that need to be loved on, okay? So start seeing these emotions as like this innocent part of you that was so hurt, and it just needs to be heard. It just needs a voice. It's crying out to be loved. So are you allowing yourself to love even those parts of yourself? And are you allowing yourself to see an alternative perspective to negative emotions, to fear, to anger? Okay, this is where we need to be eyes open. Hey, I'm feeling this. You know, I'm not going to run away from it. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to stuff it down. I'm not going to shroud it in judgment. I'm going to give myself the space to feel it so I can heal it and release it. And it's so interesting because this download around healing has really dropped in more recently. How a lot of us are now at this stage where acceptance is more needed than healing, okay? And what I mean by that is you're already enough. You don't need to constantly improve. You don't need to constantly change. And I think I touched on this last week's reading as well. It's now time to honor yourself and be perfectly imperfect, and that be okay. So once more, as we spearhead these dreams, we're going through with a very eyes wide open approach. I'm not going to do this perfectly because who can, right? I'm not going to have unrealistic expectations of myself now. I'm just going to let myself go on the journey, whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether I have challenges, whether it's smooth sailing, right? We need to release this picture perfect life and dream that we're sold and realize imperfection has a place in our lives. Mistakes have a place on the journey. Okay, wounds. We have to have space for our hurts and our wounds. They too deserve to have a space on your journey. So when you dream, yes, dream all the beautiful dreams. Let yourself see that picture perfect, amazing space for yourself. But don't forget to welcome those other parts of you too, because they deserve love too. They deserve recognition too. Just because you're not perfect doesn't mean that the journey is lost, right? So how can we give ourselves such compassion that even those parts of yourselves that are so afraid, that are so hurt and so wounded, have a space too, have a voice too? And they're showing me how healing this is for us, because our bodies, our emotions are finally honored. They're finally heard, right? So if you were someone and you grew up and you were never heard, you never felt acknowledged, ask yourself now, how can you acknowledge you? How can you acknowledge your emotions and say it's safe now to feel. It's safe for you now to be acknowledged and heard and seen. And I'm going to love you just as you are in this moment. How powerful that is when you gift such an experience to yourself. How powerful it is when you just have the space to just be in whatever emotion is present. So they're showing me this huge release that happens, and I just hear the word upgrade, upgrade. Like, have you ever realized that these negative emotions that you ignore and you stuff away are actually the things that will bring you to the most growth in your life? We have to be willing to see the dark sides of ourselves, the shadows, the hidden parts, and fill them with love too. Because whether you want to admit it or not, they are you. Your experiences shaped you. They're a part of you. So stop trying to reject these parts of yourself, the story of your life. It's time to welcome your story home. So that takes me to the events and the past that we've endured. If it's been painful, it can be really hard. A lot of us want to shut out our past. We want to release them. We want to cut them off. But what I'm hearing this week is this beautiful welcoming home of even those tough parts of your journey, and going, okay, that was really hard. Yes, I might have regrets. Yes, there might be things that I cannot change that were very hurtful and painful, but I'm not going to reject my story anymore. I'm going to allow the pages of my life to have their moment too, to be heard, to be seen. And I'm going to welcome those parts home. And this beautiful wholeness comes back where perhaps you lost a piece of yourself through your past, through grief, through wounding. And they're showing me that peace be returned. That's how powerful sacred space is. That's how powerful acceptance of yourself is. That's how powerful love is. So you're no longer running away from your pain. You're saying it forged me. It's what made me who I am today. And I won't be ashamed anymore. It's absolutely incredible what we're doing. So we are releasing any and all resistance in your life. Seeing what happened and what happens when you flow, when you trust, and when you give yourself space. Now this was really interesting because then they showed me this energy of anxiety and fear and the thoughts kind of just running wild. And this all had to do with the future. So notice that this week. Where are you having fear around the future? Where are you worried about what's next? Where are you propelling anxiety? Okay. So what was interesting was fates are never decided. Free will is yours. How do you see your life progress? This is really cool. So once again, they want us to approach life with this childlike wonder and enthusiasm this week. So as opposed to worrying and letting fear project on our future, they're instead wanting us to step back and go, what if things do go right? And how can I release this pressure I feel to have life go a certain way? So we're clearing this path and we're recognizing we are in control of our destinies, okay? Yes, there might be certain soul lessons that we have signed up to learn, yes, but we do have free will. So once again, it is always up to us what we decide, what we're going to do. So they're showing me this choice, right? What do you want to do? What fills you up? Okay. So how do you see this life progressing? Connect with your heart. See through to your goals. Now you are seeing in full spectrum color, no longer just black and white. Now that you see the world is truly yours, how do you wish to mold it? Nothing is holding you back any longer. No stone will lay unturned. You have learned it all. Now it's time to accept the role that you've been given. Share your love with the world. This is so stunning. So once more, we're recognizing our worthiness. We're recognizing what sort of life we want to live and what's actually possible. So once again, they're showing me the eyes wide open. We're finally seeing how we were thinking, we were dreaming too small. Because we weren't seeing what we actually deserved in our lives. And now that we're willing to finally see that and take the action necessary to claim the life we deserve, not from wounding, but from love and acceptance of who we are, it changes everything. And once more, we see the world as our oyster. What do you want to create? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And what's so beautiful is this awareness to you're now enough. Okay, you have always been enough. Because when they said you've learned it all, it's almost like this higher knowledge drops into how you've always known. And you were always chasing to be better, to be more, to learn more, to educate yourself. Like they're just showing me someone constantly like, when am I going to be enough? I just have to learn more and be more, and that's what's going to make me enough. But now we're stopping and we're realizing, holy moly, I am enough. I don't have to keep improving to have a better life. I can claim it right now. And it's not that we stop our self-improvement. That's not what I'm saying. But it's honoring who we have become. It's taking stock of the love in our hearts and what is already there, what is already beautiful, what is already perfect. This is where we need to do the work, right? So nothing is going to hold you back any longer. And it's funny because they're showing me like, if you decide to learn more, if you decide to do more, it's simply so it can add to your experience. It's not so you can become that thing, that next better option. It's so you can have another tool in your arsenal, so you can keep growing and evolving and learning, but honoring your sacred self just as you are. It's absolutely stunning. So now it's time to accept the role you've been given. Share your love with the world. So what I'm hearing is whatever you do, whatever you decide, it doesn't matter what you choose. It only matters that you choose what helps you be loved. That's all that matters. So I'm just hearing, for those of you who have many options before you, what puts you in the biggest space of unconditional love? What makes you feel childlike and free? What makes you feel like you can fully express and embody who you are? And I'm just hearing this freedom, right? This removal of the mask that you've had to put on for most of your life. Oh, this is me. I'm this, I'm that. I'm this job. I'm this title. I'm this position in my life. No, that's not you. So what is you? Who is you? And what helps you strip away those masks to reveal your pure beating heart? Because that's what I'm seeing, is this pure beating heart, and it's finally open. It's willing to be shared, to be seen. So this week, ruminate on this. What helps you see yourself? What helps you express the love, that big, beautiful heart within you with the world? And let that lead the way. It's absolutely stunning. And this is what channel next. Removing the block of loneliness, inability, and undeservingness. You are loved. You are whole. You are blessed. You are cleared of any sin. This was so cool because they're showing me this body of water that's just washing the heart clean. It's so beautiful because many of us have been taught that we're bad, that we're wrong, that if we put ourselves first, we need to be shamed, that it's not okay for us to meet our needs. Whatever those stories are, they're lies, they're falsehoods that withhold you from the brilliance of who you really are, that withhold you from seeing the beauty of yourself. And it's so incredible when we wash ourselves clean of these presumed sins that we've committed, and we start accepting all parts of us, loving all parts of us, and waking up to the truth that this is how the universe, God, angels, our spirit team sees us. They're not sitting there judging us. They're loving us with this sort of love. Unconditional love. Right? So this amazing download drops in. Stop punishing yourself. Stop hurting yourself. Stop hating on yourself. Right? And you're starting to see that you are a good person. You are deserving. You are worthy. And what does this do? This changes your whole life. But not only that, it heals this wound of isolation, of pushing away your own good, of pushing away people. Because they're showing me how so many of us just put these guards up, our hands up to life around us and said, I don't deserve this. And all we've ever accepted is less than, because that's what we thought we deserved. So we settled for relationships that weren't worthy of us, that treated us badly. We accepted jobs and careers that didn't fill up our cups, that didn't give us what we needed, because that's what we thought we deserved. We were punishing ourselves. And they're showing me this is such a tricky energy because a lot of us didn't even realize it. It's such a subconscious program that ran behind the scenes that we didn't really know with full awareness that these choices we were making from fear was from inadequacy. So now we're waking up. I'm hearing some of us are going to be offered opportunities this week that they're not worthy of you. Okay, so you might get a bit of a test. Some of us are going to get a bit of a test. Are you going to accept this choice that's, it's okay? Maybe it would be helpful in some areas, but is it you? Is it worthy of you? Is it going to meet you at the level that you are at? So I'm seeing make a different choice. Choose yourself. Even if it doesn't make logical sense. You're not here to be small anymore. You're here to be big. You're here to grow big, be big. So no more settling for what you don't deserve. It's time to choose what is absolutely right for you. And this awareness comes in, you're already whole. You're already loved. You've always been loved. Even if you didn't see it, you were always and have been always so, so loved. And there are no sins that you will be judged for. You are enough. It's time to liberate yourself. Free yourself from this prison of fear, of self-punishment, of self-sabotage, to be in your glory. So from this, we're clearing the heart so much that we're going to notice this heart vacancy. So this is what channeled. Heart vacancy that yearns to be filled. Soul connections, inevitable decisions. Take the leap. Removing forsaken contracts. Contracts that are ready to be broken. Clearing all negativity from your life to start afresh. We had it backward. Removing soul to focus on the goal. Instead of prioritizing mental and emotional health and well-being. Judicious steps forward to now clear the way. Careful inspection of decisions and goals to receive well-deserved blessings, worthy of your time and attention. It must be your way or the highway. Time to light your own path, not with difficulty, but with pleasure. Passions now ignite. What sets your soul on fire? Releasing resentment of what was, so you can now focus on what will be. The answers lie in wait. What are your deepest desires? Claim them now, even in the smallest capacities. What are the gifts you've been given? What are the gifts you've taken for granted and squandered? Remove the doubt, the worries, the woes. You can and will do this. A turning point is now here in your evolution. Wake up and step out into the sun. Your dreams are here and are about to be realized. So stunning. So let's circle back to this heart vacancy. This was so cool. So they're showing me kind of like this hole in the heart, this space that's ready to be filled. And it's funny because many of us have been searching for that. We're like, I'm ready for love. I'm ready. I'm ready for goodness. I'm ready for these good connections. I'm ready to be supported. And there's been these hurts and this self-doubt and like, why isn't it here yet? Why can't people meet me at this level? And they're showing me that we've been trying to fill it, but nothing's really filled that void. But what's so beautiful is, like I just keep hearing, you just didn't meet the right people yet. You just didn't meet the right ones yet. But now they're coming in. So they're showing me this beautiful energies, these many different energies that are starting to usher in. They're starting to come in now. And they're like, hey, you're my person. And it's so amazing, these connections we're starting to meet, the people that are coming into our lives, and we're so excited. So once again, this excitement comes up because these are the right people now. You're finding your tribe. You're finding the right individuals who light you up. Once again, this beautiful balance of giving and receiving starts dropping in. It's no longer just about you giving and striving and struggling and you walking away with nothing. It's now a beautiful balance of give and take. So it's really beautiful. And this is once again coming to this culmination of these inevitable breakage, because we need to break up with these contracts we've had with people who are undeserving of us, people who are not meeting us at those levels that we require. So they're coming to show us this deeper awareness. This deeper awareness is going to drop in as well, where we're like, ooh, this has gone sour. Like this isn't what I need. And this wake up happens with some of these connections in our lives. And this could go beyond just people. It could go beyond into career. It could go into lifestyle. It can go to all these different areas. So please take where this resonates for you. But I'm just seeing we're going to see these energetic cords this week that have just, they're black. It's time to cut them. It's time to get rid of that energy completely from your life. So that's what's cool. We're doing this. We're clearing all negativity from our lives to start afresh. And this awareness once more drops in to how we had things backwards. And I love how they bring this acknowledgement in of where we've been so in our masculine that we have not seen alternative views. So from there, it has we were removing our soul to focus on the goal. So where have you literally felt that way? Like, I feel soulless when I do this job, or I feel like this is not fulfilling, or this relationship is just doesn't have the spark. Like, it just doesn't have what I'm looking for. So they're kind of showing this amazing awareness come in of like, okay, then why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I pursuing avenues in my life that are not in alignment with my soul? Why do I keep trying to stay in relationships or in jobs or in these decisions that keep perpetuating a very soulless, unfulfilling life? So we got to be willing to take a step back and seeing these things very objectively and going, I deserve more. I want more. And that is okay. If your needs aren't being met, what needs to shift and to change? So they're showing me like some of us are going to take radical action. And it's like, okay, it's time. Others of us are going to just make those little tweaks, those little adjustments that need to happen. It's all about your personal situation, but what needs to shift, even just minutely, to make your joy and your soul more of a focus in your life. And it's really interesting because they're showing me how many of us actually sacrificed our mental and emotional well-being for whatever reason. Because maybe it was logical, perhaps it was necessity, perhaps it's just because it's what you should do, right? But no more. Your emotions matter. Your mental health matters. Your physical health matters. Like, these are all things they want us to start looking at. Like, where are you still on this treadmill of like, this is the only way I can live life and I have to sacrifice to be actually able to get to my goal? What if you could live a soulful existence the entire journey? What if every single thing, every step you took could be soul-led instead of soulless? So what needs to change? What needs to shift, my friends, for you to live a soulful existence? So, judicious steps forward to clear your way. Careful inspection of decisions and goals to receive well-deserved blessings, worthy of your time and attention. So it must be your way or the highway. I thought this was so cool. This message has really come through very strong. And I love it because it's very much allowing us and giving us this permission. It's okay to pave your own path. In fact, full steam ahead, my friend. If the traditional route is not for you, that's okay. Guess what? This is your life. You get to decide how to live it. You get to have the free will to make these decisions. So they're showing me this awareness dropping in this week of, okay, I am in full control. I'm the leader of my life, and this is how I'm going to live it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely wondrous what we are doing this week. So they're showing me us just brushing away what doesn't deserve us, what doesn't deserve our time and attention anymore, and honing in on our unique path and forging it. Like they're literally showing me like this lawnmower going through this forest. It's like, I'm paving my way. I am creating this path and it's mine. You guys can go that way, but this is my way. And I love it. It's just making me feel pumped. So it's like, it's time to light your own path, not with difficulty, but with pleasure. So notice that the right way will always feel right. So if there's something that's kind of holding you up and you're kind of like, check in, go like, why is this not aligning? And it could be some of us are going to have fears we got to remove for what is actually good for us and for the actual path and the risk and the leap we got to take. But for a lot of us, we're just going to go, oh, it's just because it's not for me. And where can you just admit that to yourself, that this just isn't me, and that's a good enough reason for me to get rid of it? So they're showing me that some of us are just like dancing around certain decisions or certain things that we need to change. And it's just, we're looking for deeper reasons. And they're just like, it could be as simple as, this is just not me. Can you own that? Like, that's what they're saying. They're like, can you be so in your own essence that you can be like, that's okay, it's just not for me. That's a good enough reason to walk away from certain scenarios. So lead the way with pleasure, passion, okay? Where's your passion? Ignite it. What sets your soul on fire, baby? It is time to be leaning full into it, full in. And what's so cool is this is helping us like snip away these threads. So they're showing me these little threads that are connecting us to resentment from things not working out in the past, from situations, whatever this is. Even with the universe, they're showing me a little bit of resentment of like, things didn't come on my timeline. We can get that way, right? Because we don't see this bigger picture. And we're cutting those cords. We're cutting those threads this week. We're releasing the resentment so we can now focus on the current path, right? So before, they're just showing me someone constantly looking behind them, constantly behind, comparing their current road and path to behind them. You can't do that anymore because that path it's not the same. It's not the same of what it was 10 paces back. It's changed. It's evolved. So they're showing me we now need to take in the new scenery. We now got to look around us and be like, this is totally new surroundings. I'm not back there anymore. So stop comparing your journey. Stop saying that it's going to be the same. No, you are 10 paces ahead, my friend. It's time to now take in the beauty of the now. So they're showing me this removal of distractions, this removal of pain, resentment, anger. All this is going out the back door. We got to leave that past behind. This is now the now. The focus has got to be now. So from there, we might have confusion, okay? Because they're showing me the answers lie in wait. So that means we got to go in and we got to discover them. So it might take a little bit of work. It might take a little bit of, what do I want? What am I passionate about? What are the next steps for me? Like, we've got to take the time to go in and go, what are my desires? What is it that I'm feeling? What is it I'm being called towards? What are my interests? And this is where we got to connect with that big, beautiful heart. So they're really showing me how we have to go to our desires. We have to go to the root. So when was the last time you did a check-in? Do you check in with your heart? Do you check in enough to know yourself, to know who you are now? So I'm saying hold your heart this week. Ask your heart this week, what is it you want? Where is the direction you want to go? And take those first steps and ask, what's my first step? Right? Always ask whenever you're in doubt. ask, what is my next step? It's amazing what will be revealed to you. So claim your desires now, even in the smallest capacities. So they're just showing me what steps can you take. So for some of us, we're like, well, my dream is this, but it might take me a few years to get there. And sometimes that can feel disheartening because it's like, oh, well, it's going to take time to build this empire. And we can feel a little bit, well, this sucks. I have to wait. But what they're showing me is, no, you don't have to wait until this arrives. Okay? How can you claim that energy now? How can you start creating this life now? And we can always embody that energy that we already have it. So they're showing me to create that environment. So if you're someone, you're like, I want an acreage, but I can't afford it right now, or I can't get it right now. It's going to take me a few years. Well, what can you do in your current home? How can you emulate that lifestyle? Can you surround your home in nature? Can you bring in more plants? Can you do a little garden in your backyard? Can you surround yourself with animals? Can you go do day trips out in nature? Like, what are those things that help you capture that essence and those feelings of having it and being in it? So they're really showing me it's so important to be living our dreams, not just dreaming our dreams, living our dreams. So how can you live your dream now, not later? So come up with creative solutions this week. How can I live my dream? How can I start right now? How can I embody that vibration, right? So put new screensavers on your phone of your dream. Put up slideshows that you can watch every day. Educate yourself on what's next. Like, get this excitement generating because this helps us claim it. We're taking action. We're putting ourselves in the vibration. And that's what's going to propel it to come even quicker, right? So from there, this illumination to our gifts. What gifts have you been given? This is going to help us excavate our desires. So they're showing some of us once more, I don't know what I want. I don't know what direction to go. Well, if you go to your talents, if you go to your innate gifts, I've never met anyone who actually their desires did not match their innate gifts. So think about that. What am I good at? What am I naturally good at? What are the things I naturally gravitate towards? And they're once more showing me creative, innovative solutions coming in. Well, how can you start seeing where that path leads? Where have you forgotten certain gifts? Where have you gone, no, that'll never happen, so you haven't done anything about it? Do something about it. If you want your life to change, it changes now. It starts now by seizing the moment, by taking action, by believing in yourself. So they're really showing me the importance of claiming your abundance, claiming your dreams. So key this week, absolutely key. So if you want to pursue a talent or goal, how can you start? Allow yourself to dig deeper this week. What am I good at? What are the gifts that are now surfacing to be realized, to be remembered? Okay, some of us are going to have some past life gifts as well that are going to be coming up this week that we're going to be remembering. And we're going to go, oh, this isn't the first time I've done this. Like, I'm damn good at this. This is really coming in. It's like, I'm actually really good at this. And this amazing, once more, eye-opening awareness drops in. I'm good at this. I'm not so bad. And we start taking the actions. So exciting. So a turning point is now here in your evolution. Wake up and step out into the sun. Your dreams are here and are about to be realized. Dang, what a great final statement. I love this. I just got chills. Yeah, we're stepping out big, my friends. We are stepping in to who we really are. And it's so exciting. It's so exciting. So wrap yourself in those feel-good energies this week. Wrap yourself in these energies of abundance, of love, of joy. This is what you deserve. And it's time to start living that life. So don't delay. Reach out and take it. It's ready. It's meant to be yours. So friends, that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all your follows, all your likes, all your support, and however you support me. And I also wanted to mention some new subscription offerings that I have, and I am going to be driving forward this next little while. So I have created 3 different subscription offerings. Number 1, a Reiki distance session, 30 minutes of just pure energy healing, accompanied by an audio recording of your messages and channeled guidance. And it's only going to be $35 Canadian a month. So this is a subscription that allows you to get all that healing that you need, all the advice you need, and it also allows you just to have some time for yourself. So if this interests you, I'm going to leave that linked below where you can sign up for monthly healing. The other offering I have is distance Reiki. So if you just want energy healing, no messages, that would be the one for you for only $25 Canadian a month. After that, I then have my readings, just a reading, no energy healing. So we'll be doing a card pull, 3 to 6 cards, and whatever reading messages I get will also be included in that offering for $30 Canadian a month. So these are incredibly affordable options for you to be able to be getting regular healing, regular connection. And this is something I've been really wanting to spearhead because I also understand so many of us are struggling. So many of us are trying our best to just put food on the table at this time. So I wanted to be able to offer these things at a very reduced rate and an affordable rate for those of you who are needing that extra love and care at this time. So if any of those interest you, please check out the links below or send me a message. I'd love to connect further. Have a beautiful week, my friends. Take very good care of you. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.